Hey guys, we have a big and very powerful full moon in Pisces that is happening on Monday, September 20th, 2021, approximately 7:50 p.m. Eastern Time, and this will be occurring at 28 degrees and 14 minutes of Pisces and Virgo, where the sun and the moon are. This is a full moon in Pisces, you guys. This is all about releasing, walking away from some things, letting some things go, while simultaneously we are also gaining some very deep and expanded knowledge about something that is definitely inspiring us to move forward in a brand new direction going forward. Welcome back to my channel, everybody. Today is Monday, September 20th, 2021. My name is Aubrey, and this is your astrological outlook for the full moon in Pisces. So let's get right into it, you guys. Like I said, this full moon is happening at 28 degrees and 14 minutes of Virgo in Pisces. Now, for those of you who are new to my channel or don't know, a large part of the astrological work that I do is centered around the Sabian symbols. And when we're reading Sabian symbols, we always round up a degree because energy moves in waves. And so it's like by the time that a specific degree is being discharged, it's already picking up on the energy and the frequency of the incoming wave of energy. So when we're reading the energetics symbolically, we always look to the next degree up because that is really the energy that is coming in at that degree and that we're feeling more significantly. So for this report, I'm going to be looking at 29 degrees of Virgo and Pisces for the symbolic Sabian symbol degree placements of the energetics, which I will be explaining and reading to you guys in the context of what's going on. And just to be clear, the Sabian symbols are a group of energetics that describe each and every one of the 360 degrees of the zodiac. Whenever a planet is at a specific degree, we can look to the Sabian symbol, read the energetic, read this symbol, and it gives us more information about what is going on with these particular aspects, and more importantly, why they're happening in the context of this grand unfolding cosmic blueprint that is constantly and perpetually moving us through time and space. And at this point of time and space, it is moving us in the direction of the age of Aquarius. So all that being said, let's talk about the energetics for this big full moon that we have going on. Now, first and foremost, let's just consider the full moon phase. Generally, this is the halfway point of the new moon cycle, when things have reached their culmination, their fullest expression, their climax in terms of the energy, and it's time to start releasing and letting some things go so that we can move towards a new cycle of creation that will come with the new moon in Libra that's coming up. So full moons are always releasing times. It's always a time where we're letting things go, shining a full light on something, coming into full awareness, and then beginning to move on towards our next creative endeavor that is coming with the next lunar cycle. And now let's add the context of Virgo and Pisces. The moon is in Pisces. Pisces is the 12th sign of the zodiac. It rules the 12th house. It's ruled by Neptune. And when the moon is in Pisces, this really a lot of times gives us an urge to sort of like merge back into source. It's all about releasing. It's all about letting go. It's all about coming back into wholeness, coming back into oneness with spirit, and letting go of what no longer serves us as we're moving forward. It's the place where we really drop off our baggage so that we can start a new, fresh cycle that, Aries is the next sign of the zodiac, so that we can start a new cycle fresh and unencumbered by all of the baggage that we've picked up along the way. Pisces is where we really let things go, release, and we do it so that we can come actually back into wholeness and a greater connection with the spirit and with the divine, so that we can begin creating something new from sort of like this bare slate that is re-merged with these spiritual energies. A lot of times when the moon is in Pisces, we have like an urge to really not really engage in drama or conflict, or we're just not very comfortable in like facing challenges. And a lot of times it makes us sort of want to like evade reality, or sort of like just like hide from things or not face these challenges because of this desire to sort of like escape and to merge back into union with spirit and really not deal with like the physical and materialistic drama that is happening on earth. It's a water sign, and you know, it's very much connected to spirit. But in this case, I'm actually seeing that is us being ready to release and to walk away from and to sort of not want to deal with and to like sort of want to hide from things that we can no longer take with us, that have been prohibiting us from moving forward, that have been keeping us out of alignment with our true authenticity and with our deepest like soul's yearnings and the deep desires of our heart. And I think that with this full moon in Pisces, especially considering the energetics leading up to it, if you guys missed my reports this week, you might want to check those out because we had a lot of big time purging and transformation happening leading up to this full moon, which really is about this ultimate purge. And I really feel like by the time that we get to this full moon today, we are ready to let a lot of things go that are no longer in alignment with, like I said, our truth, our authenticity, and what we're really connected to and what we desire on a heart and soul level. Universe wants to align us with a life path going forward that is much more fulfilling across the board in every way. Sorry about like the noise outside. A big truck is just driving by. But yeah, so with this full moon coming into effect in Pisces, after all of this very transformative energy that we had going on this past week with the sun making a trine to Pluto, and we had Mercury in opposition to the Eris point, and there was just a lot of energy going on that was really urging us to make some very deep, profound, and fundamental transformations and purges. And here we are at the full moon in Pisces, ready to truly release what is no longer in alignment with our truth and authenticity, and we are moving forward. Now, we have some pretty significant aspects going on alongside this full moon today, and I'm going to list off these aspects and then I'm going to go back and talk about them one by one. First off, we have the sun and Mars for this full moon today in a relatively close conjunction. This is not an exact conjunction. They are 5 degrees apart right now, but this is it's still close enough where I feel like this Mars energy is definitely going to be intertwined in the energetics of this full moon. We also have Mercury today, who is the ruler of this Virgo cycle. The Mercury rules Virgo. We are in the Virgo lunar cycle. So Mercury is actually ruler of this cycle, and it is very important what Mercury is doing today. It tells us a lot about like the purpose of this cycle generally. And today, for this full moon in Pisces, Mercury is forming an exact, literally to the minute, trine to Jupiter retrograde in Aquarius, and also is forming an almost exact square to Pluto in Capricorn. That square is only 1 degree off, so it is very, very much in effect. And Mercury is also slowing down, about to go retrograde in a few days, really moving slowly at this point in time. And so this tells us that this full moon in Virgo is really going to be about gaining some really deep hidden information about something that just expands our knowledge in like really big ways. We are gaining secret knowledge that expands our understanding, and we really are probably going to be being called to speak our truth about these things that we're finding out as this cycle progresses. And when I get into talking about the degree placements of this specific full moon and the Sabian symbols being discharged, there is even a greater emphasis on this. It's very synchronistic how this is lining up, but a definite theme of this full moon is going to be hidden information being exposed that greatly expands our understandings about things. And this process is also very important and is assisting us a lot in what we need to do with this full moon and release the past and move on. It's like we're going to be finding out some things that make it a lot easier for us to go through this process of release and purging and moving away from what is no longer in authentic alignment with us. Next, we have Mars and the North Node today, you guys, coming into an exact trine for the full moon. It's not Mars that's actually moving. Mars is at 4 degrees of Libra where he was yesterday. It's the North Node that is moving degrees, moving from 5 degrees of Gemini to 4 degrees of Gemini, just in time for this full moon today to meet Mars for an exact trine from Libra to Gemini. And that also means that the South Node, which rules what we need to let go, what we need to move away from, what we need to evolve out of, in Sagittarius, which rules our belief systems, will be in a sextile with Mars. So this aspect is really telling us that there is a lot of energy and there is a lot of motivation and there is a lot of strength and courage and willpower to release the past, to move away from things, to evolve out of past belief systems, and to really embrace these new understandings, these expanded understandings that we're getting, and move forward in this new direction. Remember, Mercury also rules Gemini, the current position of the North Node. So both of these things are tied in. And like I said, the sun is in a loose conjunction to Mars is in a loose conjunction to the sun for this full moon. So tied in there together again. Also, for this full moon, we have Venus at 12 degrees of Scorpio in a loose opposition. Well, it's not that loose. It's a 3-degree orb from Uranus in her sign of Taurus at 15 degrees of Taurus. This is telling us that there are likely to be some major financial or economic upheavals that occur this cycle, but they're actually for the purpose of moving us through this process and helping us to release and move away from things so that things can fall back into a better alignment in terms of what our heart truly deeply desires. Venus in Scorpio. So those are the aspects that we're looking at for this full moon that is coming into effect today. So now let's go back to the beginning, and I want to discuss the specific degree placements for these aspects, the symbolism that's in effect, and the story that it's telling us in terms of the purpose of this full moon in the context of the cosmic blueprint that's unfolding and where we're moving and why we're moving there and how it's trying to move us. So let's start with the position of the sun today, 29 degrees of Virgo. This Sabian symbol is a man gaining secret knowledge from an ancient scroll. And to be completely honest with you, you guys, this specific degree is exactly in alignment with Mercury in a square to Pluto and in a trine to Jupiter for this full moon. A man gaining secret knowledge from an ancient scroll. With Mercury in a square to Pluto, that is gaining hidden secret knowledge. That is breaking through. And it might bring up some types of conflicts or struggles or tension, but there is some type of breakthrough that is going on in terms of seeing behind the scenes, seeing behind the veil, seeing under the curtain with Mercury in a square to Pluto. And then with Mercury in the trine to Jupiter, this is vastly expanded knowledge and information and learning things at a very expanded level. So the activation of Mercury in a trine to Jupiter and in a square to Pluto for this full moon is acting out the specific symbolism of the degree of the sun for the full moon, a man gaining secret knowledge from an ancient scroll. So this is definitely telling us that this full moon cycle is going to be very revealing. Revelations, hidden information that has been hidden possibly for a very long period of time coming to light. It's an ancient scroll. These are ancient truths. These are ancient understandings and wisdom that is being brought to light over the process of this next couple of weeks. And again, this same theme is being specifically emphasized by the aspect of Mercury in a trine to Jupiter and also a square to Pluto. And remember, Mercury is the ruler of this cycle. So it really is being very clear and very specific about what we can expect as this full moon unfolds. The position of both the Earth and the Moon today for this full moon, remember the Earth is always in a polar opposition to the Sun, is 29 degrees of Pisces. And that degree is light breaking into many colors as it passes through a prism. So we are seeing the spectrum. Things are breaking down, and we are seeing the spectrum of reality in a way that we may have never perceived it before under these energetics. Things are, what appeared to be just a solid, like white light, we're seeing has a multitude of dimensions and a multitude of colors existing within it. And that can also correlate to what we have going on inside of us at this point in time. We're discovering, the rainbow that is held within our soul, and this light that is breaking down through this prism, and we're seeing the different facets of the whole spectrum of experience that exists within us and externally as well. And we are just seeing the different, that we're seeing the entire spectrum of possibly what's been hidden as well with the degree placement of the Sun. So yeah, we're just gaining secret knowledge that really expands our understanding this cycle. And with Mercury in the trine to Jupiter, we are speaking our truth. We are saying what's on our mind based on these new understandings that we're coming to from this information that we are gaining access to that we may have not had up until this point in time. We are finding out a lot, and it's changing our viewpoints, and it's causing us to just have this much more expanded understanding of what is going on, what has been going on, and what that really means for us in terms of what we need to let go and move on from, so that we can go really in this whole new direction, down this whole new path of experience that the North Node in Gemini is trying to take us on. So, very significant symbolism that is being discharged by the specific degree placements of the Sun and the Moon for this full moon today. The degree placements of Mercury today, Mercury is at 24 degrees of Libra, and that is a third wing on the left side of a butterfly. This kind of is telling me, you guys, that there may be something coming up, an option that we hadn't considered until this point in time. It's like we may have always been under the impression that there were only two paths, there were only two ways, there were only two ideas, but now we're starting to realize that there might actually be a third, and that third way might be the way that we need to follow, that might actually lead us out of any type of issues or struggles that we've been dealing with. And this again is in the exact trine to Jupiter, and Jupiter right now is at 24 degrees of Aquarius, and that degree is a man turning his back on his passions, teaches deep wisdom from his experience. So it's almost like with this trine, everything that we've been through, everything that we've learned, this experience that we've gained is actually opening up like a third path for us. And it may have not been something that we ever considered. Maybe we thought we could only go right or we could only go left. But now, because of everything we've been through, all of this learning, all of this hidden truth, all of this secrets revealed, that's just really expanding our knowledge and our viewpoint and our understanding of things. Maybe now we're realizing that there actually is a third path going straight, and we don't have to take the left and we don't have to take the right. We can walk down our own path, our authentic path, the one that is in alignment with the deepest desires of our heart and our soul. And we don't need to conform to previous beliefs and understandings that there were only two ways. We are creating our own authentic way forward based on these new understandings, these expanded viewpoints, these secrets that are being revealed, and what we're releasing, what we're letting go. It's opening up this third way forward for us that we may not have ever even considered until we've gone through this very transformative process. And it's also talking about a butterfly metamorphosis. This whole past week, the entire theme has been very deep transformation and metamorphosis. So it's like once we go through this process of transforming and metamorphosizing, the third path opens up, and this is the road to our truth. This is the road to our personal alignment, and this is the road that will lead us to that ultimate fulfillment. So I feel like that was relevant too. And remember the degree of Pluto right now, 25 degrees of Capricorn, a store filled with precious oriental rugs. It really is all about coming back into the valuable, precious things that we hold inside of us, that we store inside of us, coming back into contact with that, stepping back into our power, and this process of transformation and metamorphosis that we're going through all of these things that are being revealed, this expanded understanding, this ability to now release and move on and metamorphosize is creating a new path for us forward, directly in relation to our evolution and to our destiny and to where God wants, the path that God wants to take us is opening for us once we go through this process of transformation and metamorphosis. The butterfly with the third wing on the left side. Next, we have the North Node. Like I said, it is changing degrees today. It's changing from 5 degrees of Gemini to 4 degrees of Gemini. And this degree is holly and mistletoe, reawaken old memories of Christmas. We are really wanting to go in a direction right now that can bring us back into our joy, back into our peace and our happiness and our celebration for life. And the South Node at 4 degrees of Sagittarius, the South Node and the North Node always oppose each other. This is a little child learning to walk. So, I mean, it fits right in. The South Node is what we are letting go of and moving away from. And with a little child learning to walk, we're letting go of and we're moving away from pretty much everything that we've learned up to this point. It's like we're being reborn and we have to learn the skills to maneuver this new reality so we can walk down this third path in alignment with our authenticity after we go through this metamorphosis. It's like when the butterfly first comes out of the cocoon, it probably like has to go through a little bit of process to like really figure out how to fly, even though it already knows how to do that. It's like embedded in its genetic blueprint. And you know, the same with us. But since it's been crawling on the ground so much time as a caterpillar, and then it spends all this time all balled up in this cocoon, when it sprouts its wings, it probably has, you know, a little while where it just is still learning to fly. And that is really where we're at right now. It's like we're going through this process, we're learning all of this stuff, it's changing us on these really deep and fundamental levels, and we're having to really let go of a lot of things, walk away, move on. And you know, this metamorphosis, this alchemization, this transformation that we're going to, it's really bringing us back and reuniting us with our inner child. And we have to relearn how to maneuver this new reality so that we can walk down this path towards our personal truth, our personal authenticity, and what we truly deeply desire and hold within our heart and our soul. So I found that to be interesting as well. And again, the North Node is in an exact trine to Mars today. Mars is at 4 degrees of Libra. A group of young people sit around a campfire in spiritual communion. So this really is having to do also with our connection to the divine, our intuition, our spiritual connection, our spiritual guidance, and where this is taking us going forward. The path forward, the North Node, Mars in an exact trine to the North Node, has so much to do with the communion that we personally are having with our spirit, with God, with the universe, with the divine, and the guidance and the intuition and like the soul urging that we are receiving right now to go down that path, to really develop this connection and to utilize it and to take the intuitive guidance that's coming through to us and to act on it. And again, it's talking about a group of young people in spiritual communion. It's like we are going through this rebirth and we're being reinvigorated and we're transforming and we're metamorphosizing, and now we're just this very like young spirits again, walking down this new path, wanting to move forward, wanting to let things go with this Pisces full moon, wanting to move on, but we're relearning and tapping into the divine, tapping into God, tapping into spirit, and letting that be our compass and our navigation system is what is really helping us come together and move down this new path. Mars in an exact trine to the North Node for this full moon today. We are definitely motivated by spirit to move forwards towards regaining lost joy, the desire to again celebrate I'm sorry for all of this interruption outside today. There's like work going on or something, and these big trucks keep driving by, so I'm sorry for the background noise. But yeah, really, like, that is what this is doing. Mars in a conjunction to the North Node, we are really fired up to move forward in a new direction, back towards what makes us feel alive and spirited and joyful and carefree and celebratory and happy. And we're like little children learning to walk after this process of metamorphosis, letting go, release, and moving on. Yes. And okay, the next thing that I want to say, we do have Venus coming into that opposition with Uranus in her sign of Taurus. Venus is at 12 degrees of Scorpio today. That degree is an embassy ball. And Uranus is at 15 degrees of Taurus. A man with a rakish silk hat, muffled against the cold, braves a storm. And, you know, with this aspect in effect, I do think that this full moon cycle, we may see some very turbulent things going on with economies, with money, with finances. Venus rules Taurus, where Uranus is. With Venus in opposition, this could definitely be upsets in terms of our material comforts, resources, supply chains, just money and finances generally, also relationships, partnerships, and just like the things that make us feel safe and secure and stable in life. Definitely possibly shocks and surprises and upheavals in terms of these things. In Venus and Scorpio, this is to align us with what we truly need to feel fulfilled on like the deepest levels of our hearts. And one thing we need to remember about Uranus rules Aquarius. Uranus is whatever is happening when planets are making aspect with Uranus right now. They're doing it, and whatever changes come from it are happening so that we can come into a better alignment, the alignment that is necessary to really move forward into the Aquarian paradigm, into the age of Aquarius, which is where we're all moving collectively right now. And we need to keep in mind, Uranus aspects have a tendency of being very uncomfortable when they're going on, but they're always for the purpose of some type of grand rectification. So there may be, like I said, some just definite upsets in our comfort level with things generally across the board in regards to Taurus themes this cycle, but anything that is upset or that is removed or that is exploded or that is like just like impulsive actions, shocks and surprises with things, even if it seems very difficult and uncomfortable right now, it is happening for the purpose of some type of very necessary realignment that will ultimately be a silver lining. So we need to keep that in mind as well. And then the last thing again is that we do have Mars in a loose conjunction to the sun for this full moon. Mars is combust. Mars is invisible right now and hidden in the rays of the sun. And whenever this is going on, you know, this could really be increasing like fiery energy generally, and also anger and explosions. But like more so, it's very much like an unpredictable energy, unpredictability and suppressed feelings, which lead to some type of like emotional explosion or like explosive behaviors with Mars in a conjunction with the sun. And especially since Mars is in Libra, this is going to be pertaining to other people, relationships, partnerships. So we really want to take care and be careful of just like explosive events occurring in relationships and in partnerships. And we want to do our best not to really be suppressing our feelings to the point of feeling like we just are going to explode with these energetics in effect. We also want to be careful of accidents when we have Mars combust the sun. But you guys, this is also a much more strategic energy. When Mars is invisible, when Mars is combust in conjunct the sun, it brings out the more scorpionic themes of Mars. So like very strategic actions happening sort of behind the scenes, not really seeing the energy that's being put into things, and then sort of just like exploding on the scene or making like a big energy display based on things that we've been working on in private that just sort of like that we put out when they're finished. It's very strategic with Mars in conjunction to the sun. So we have that going on as well. Just this expanded fiery energy that we're dealing with alongside of this. And again, you know, try not to suppress your emotions and stuff if you can help it, to the point where you feel like you're just like sort of really going to explode, because that is also indicated with these energetics. So that is really what is playing out, you guys, for this full moon in Pisces that we have going on. You know, because it's Pisces, this is always a desire to sort of hide from, walk away, run away, like evade things. But in this case, I feel like this is actually a beneficial energy in the like context of what we have, because what we're walking away from, what we're hiding from, what we're running away from are the things that we actually do need to be leaving in the past. So I feel like this is a positive Pisces moon, Pisces full moon, and it's very, very beneficial to us in this metamorphosis, this transformation, this purge, so that we can realign with our truth and authenticity and really begin to move in that new direction. It's like we're over the drama, we're over the illusion, we don't want any of that anymore, and we really just are letting go of things that are not, that we just can't deal with anymore and that are out of alignment with us. And this is what we need to do on our trajectory into the age of Aquarius, where it is all about self-knowledge, self-empowerment, self-mastery, and really truly being in alignment with our personal unique authenticity and personal unique creative self-expression. We are actively moving towards the future and away from the past with Mars in the exact trine to the North Node. We are gaining secret knowledge that expands our understandings about things in a really big way, really pushing us to speak our truth. A man gaining secret knowledge from an ancient scroll with Mercury, ruler of this cycle, in a square to Pluto and in an exact to the minute trine to Jupiter. And financial upsets and economic changes that are motivating all of this as well. Now, the last thing that I want to talk to you guys about today, I drew a tarot card asking to clarify the collective energy of this full moon and, you know, where we're really at collectively as we go through this process. And the symbolism that came up was totally in exact alignment with what we're going through right now. The card that God gave me was the Six of Swords. We are moving away. We are leaving the past behind. You know, there is a sense of, you know, some sadness or some nostalgia in having to do this, but it promises safe travels, and we are heading in a new direction, and we are moving away from the things in the past that no longer served us. And then when I looked at the bottom of the deck, why are we doing that? It's because the sun has been upside down and we want to come back into the light. The bottom of the deck is the sun reversed. We are moving away from the reversed sun so that we can come back into the light, into the truth, and into alignment with our true authentic authenticity and the true yearnings and desires of our heart and soul, so that we can come into self-mastery, self-knowledge, and move forward in the trajectory of the age of Aquarius. So that is what I have for you guys today. If you liked this video, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. Leave me comments and tune in tomorrow, you guys, for my astrological outlook of the day. And thank you so much for watching. I will see you next time. Have a beautiful